Hello, my learners. Today we are going to learn about how we can use if statements in Excel formulas. That is, using conditional expressions in formula. In this video, I include three sections. First one is simple if statement. That is how we can use a simple or a single if statement. The second section includes how we can implement nested if statements, that is, an if statement in another if statement. And the third section includes nested functions in a formula. So, today we are going to learn on these three topics. Let us consider this table. So, as you can see that in this table, it includes roll number, name, subject 1, which is out of 50, subject 2 marks, it is also an out of 50, subject 3, its total, and grades. So these are the columns that we are using in this table. And I found this total column using the sum function. Okay, in the previous lectures we have learned about how to use sum functions. So in this manner I used sum function to find out the total of three subjects of each student. Okay, now here we are going to use if statement to find out the grade. That is, for the filling of grades column we are going to use if statement. And now let us move to the simple if statement usage. How we can use a simple if statement to find out the grades of each student. So what is the syntax of if statement? So the syntax of if statement is if bracket opens logical test comma value if true value if false. So there are three arguments we are passing along with the if statement. So the first one is logical test. We know that the if statement, while we talking itself, while we communicating with others also, we will use if. In this case I use this, else I prefer to do like that. So if always checks a condition which is in the logical manner. If the condition is true, then you have a reply. If the condition is false, you have another reply. So like that, if the logical test that condition met, the second argument will give as the reply or give as the answer. And if the logical test condition is not met, then the third argument will give the answer. So for finding out the grades of each student, I'm going to use the logical test condition as if the total mark is greater than 100, then A grade for those students, else B grade to the another students. Okay, so I'm going to use if condition here, and that is simple if. Okay, so equal sign if F4, since the column F contains the total mark, I used F4 greater than 100, grades A, else grades B. Okay, so I found the grade of the first student, and if I drag it down, it gives the result of other students also. Here we can use the reference symbols in three ways. That means here I can use dollar symbol as prefix to F column. Why I use dollar symbol? So that is I am going to explain now. Why I used dollar symbol? We can refer a cell in three ways. First one is symbol reference. The simple reference, here we will use symbol and row number like A1, B5, C100 like this. Here we simply use the column name A and the row number 1. Here the simply we used column name B and the row number 5. So this kind of reference is known as simple reference. The second type of reference is absolute reference. Here we use dollar symbol as prefix to both the column name and row number. That is like this. This absolute reference always use if particular cell value is common or constant to all the rows or columns of that table. For example, interest rate. If rate is equal to 5%, then this value will be a constant value to all the rows in that table. So to refer this 5% value, we will use absolute reference wherever we need to use the rate value. The third type of cell reference is mixed reference. As the name implies, it is the combination of symbol and absolute reference. That is $A1 else $1, etc. In this example, we use mixed reference. Since the column name remains same for each row of the table, but the row number is changing for each row of the table. So here you can see that the column name F, the total, that column name named total is not going to change anymore anyway to find out the grades. So I can use dollar symbol in front of F since the column name is not going to change, and I simply keep the row number as 4, and when I drag it down I will get the required result. Okay, so these are the three ways of cell reference also. So in this example, I preferred for mixed reference to find out the grade. Why? Because the column name F is not going to change for finding out the second row student grade, third row student grade, fourth row student grade. Only the row number is changing from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. That is why I used dollar symbol in front of the column name and simply I kept the raw number without using or without prefixing the dollar symbol. But we know that while we find out this grades, it is not a perfect grade, right? Here we can see an ambiguity or confusion in the grade column of this table. The person with lower marks get B grade, and that is along with the average or higher marks of other students. So this gives a wrong result. In this situation, we will use the second concept of if, that is nested if, which means an if statement within the another if statement. So here you can see that the syntax of simple if statement. We passed three arguments. First one is a logical condition. Second argument is if the condition met, what will be the result? And third argument is if the condition is not met, then what will be the result? So for finding out or for using the nested if, we are going to replace the third argument, that is value if false argument, as another if statement. Why we replace false statement? We know that, or we usually use to talk like, if I have an amount of rupees 5,000, I will buy one sari, two kurti, one shirt. Else, if the amount is 2,500, I will buy two kurti, one shirt. I will ignore or I will neglect to buy the sari. Else, I will buy one shirt, one kurti. So in this manner, we used to talk also. So here we can use else cases if the condition is not met. That is why we are replacing false value with another if. Let us look the syntax then. Let us keep the symbol if syntax there itself so that you can compare it with the nested if. Okay, so now I am going to write the nested if syntax. If logical test 1, because we are using multiple if conditions, so we will have more than one condition. That is why I used logical test 1 comma true value. So for nested if, I already told that we are going to replace the false argument value as another if. So I'm going to use another if there. So if the first condition logical test 1 is true, then the true value will be given as an output. Else I have to check another condition, right? So if another logical test 2 comma its true statement, else I have to insert another if logical 3 true comma etc. if logical test n comma true value false value. So I closed the last if bracket. Now I have to close the remaining if bracket. So I closed remaining if brackets also. Now let us implement the nested if conditions here. So here I am going to find out the grades in this manner. If the total mark is greater than 120, then put A as grade. Else, if I have to compare with the total markers less than or equal to 120 but greater than or equal to 100, then put B as grade. Else, if total markers less than 100 and total which is greater than or equal to 50, then put C as grade, else failed. So this is the condition that I am going to use. So let us replace this simple if as nested if. Okay, so I'm going to put nested if here. If the total column is greater than 120, put A as grade. If and here I'm going to compare two conditions, that is if the total mark is less than or equal to 120 and greater than or equal to 100. So that is why I used AND function within the if statement. So AND, I have to open another bracket of AND. I'm sorry. $F4 is less than or equal to 120, comma $F4 is greater than or equal to 100 and bracket closed, B as grade. Else, if $F4, oops, I forgot to use AND function again, and less than 100, comma $F4 greater than or equal to 50 and bracket closed, C failed. So all the conditions I simply wrote within the if statements. Now I have to close the all opened brackets. So here you can see that last if and brackets are closed. Now I have to close the last if bracket. Next bracket is and, which is already closed. So next second if, now the third if. So enter. Now simply drag it down to find out the grades of remaining students. So here you can see the perfect result of all the students with the usage of nested if. So this is how we can use the nested if. And next section was how we can use nesting functions in if statement. Here we already implemented the third concept, that is nesting another functions within the if statements. Here we have applied AND functions within if function. This means that we can use another functions along with the if statements, like if sum of C1 to C5 greater than 50, good, else bad. So this is an example for nesting functions in if condition or if statement. Here we used sum function as nested function within the if statement. So this is the third concept. I simply explained through a simple if statement along with the sum nested function. Okay, so here comes the end of the session using conditional expressions in formula. I hope you already uh, enjoyed this video and practically implemented in your Excel file also. So you should save each and every practical sessions that we are practically doing in these videos. You have to save it in separate sheets or separate Excel workbooks. So this is how we can use if statement, nested if statements and nesting functions in if statements. Thank you so much. Please do watch each videos that I shared with you and learn more about Excel in an easy manner. Also, you do the practical learning along with me to learn easily, to understand easily, to gain more knowledge. Thank you so much.